This is Kate Baconsale. You're listening to Baconsale.
We three men of Baconsale are wrapping up the season so far. Fights and fandom, we're so random. Let's get this over with.
Men of wonder, men of might. I don't know.
Man, it's too late in the night.
Yeah. We need to make fun of ourselves more there.
Hey, everyone. Welcome to Baconsale, and thanks for enjoying my song.
Yes, I'm Joel.
I'm Kent.
And Jacob.
Once again, as always, we'd like to thank you for listening to the entire season 3 of
Congratulations.
Baconsale.
You deserve a pin.
This is our season finale.
A pin or a pen?
A pen?
Okay, sure. You deserve something great.
A pin.
Do we sell those at tpublic.com/baconsale?
I don't know, but we should.
But no, we really want to thank you for listening to this entire season, particularly last show. But for those of you who don't know, this is our season finale. We are going to be taking a break for a bit. Well, Jacob goes to Hawaii and Missouri and every other paradisiacal place.
Not again.
Gonna go connect with
No,
my
we already
roots.
got that taken care of.
Okay, good.
We're
That was
taking a
last
break
year's plot.
until January 15th. So go listen to old episodes of Baconsale. Go find old ones that you love. Share them with friends. Keep the love of Baconsale going, even as we are...
Keep it alive.
In fact, we'll probably
Relaxing.
reshare our favorite episodes. And if you have favorite episodes, maybe we'll do something on social media. We'll ask you for your favorites, and then we'll share those as well.
And we do have a plan to pick out a favorite from each one of us. So Kent will pick a favorite, Jacob will pick a favorite, I'll pick a favorite.
Is it just from this season, or can it be
No,
any?
it can be any.
Okay.
We want to pick some deep cuts, and we'll be sharing those on
Deep cuts. That's
Yeah,
cute.
that is
Baconsale
cute.
deep cuts.
We'll be sharing those on social media as well. So follow us on Facebook, follow us on Twitter.
Yeah.
Yep.
All right, so it is our season finale, and like we did last year, we do a clip show because, well, it's the end of the year and we're tired.
Yeah.
And so we just want to talk about our favorite moments and things like that.
It's a very self-indulgent episode, but if you've been along with the ride for us, you're going to enjoy it.
You're in on the joke, hopefully.
And honestly, it worked better than I thought it would last year. It was a pretty fun show.
That's kind of how our show goes. It's like, let's record. We're pretty good, actually, surprisingly.
All right. This is weird.
Kent, stay up all night editing that.
Yes, I will.
All right.
All right, so should we just get started?
Yeah, let's just jump right into it.
We rarely do this. We rarely just move in without any tangents.
Sure, there's nothing else we want to talk about.
We had some banter.
Sorry about Star Wars?
Don't bring it up. Don't bring it up.
Okay.
Feelings are still raw.
All right, let's do this.
All right, yeah, let's get into it.
So, yes, we're looking back on our season 3, which, if you don't know what a season is, it's basically a year. It's
We do it by calendar
January
year
to December.
not the regular way.
Because we post a show each week, if you don't know that, and sometimes twice a week if we include a bacon bit. And so we have a lot of material to choose from, but we had...
Did you guys count how many like bacon bits or anything this year?
Probably a lot. I would say 14, and that's a guess.
That's a total
I feel
guess.
pretty confident about it. Like October, we did one every week.
19 results for bacon bits.
We didn't
Whoa.
have any in November, I don't think.
Oh, we let people down. It's like we got them all excited, and then we're like, oh, sorry.
Yeah, we were busy in
I counted
November.
it just then. Are you impressed?
19, he
19.
said.
That's what- at least I did-
Are you
I
sure
did-
it's just for this year? That
I
you
did control, for season 3, I did control F on the season 3 notes I have here and has.
And we didn't even do this for ratings or anything. You know, it's not like it was self-indulgent at all to do bacon bits so we could double our
So you're
ratings.
just lying to the listener.
Okay, it's exactly why we did
No,
it.
honestly, we don't do enough bacon bits because there's tons of
We
things
do
we want
plenty.
to talk
We do
about.
plenty.
No, look, even tonight, I'm like, we need to talk about the acquisition, the Disney acquisition, but we can't. We need another bacon bit.
When you guys say you don't want to start the show, you really don't want to start the show. Go off on another tangent.
It did seem too early, yeah. All right, I'm ready to start. Are you
Let's
guys
do
ready?
it.
I'm
Yes.
ready to start.
Okay, here's the first category. What's the show that you want to redo?
All right.
If we don't all agree on this, I'll be surprised.
There's actually
I'm actually curious.
a few. I have three in mind.
I have-
we talked about this last time. Like, what percentage do you think were good shows
Okay,
this past
so
season?
last year I thought we were at 85% quality. You guys said a little bit lower.
Did we? I think so.
I think you said 70, and Jake, you said about 40%. I think you were
know,
joking.
Jacob.
I
though.
don't remember.
Because season 2 was great. Season 3, a little bit less great.
If we're being honest here.
I would say we're like a 71% solid status on this one.
Okay.
What about you guys?
Well, I'm looking over the shows here, and I'm looking through a lot of them, and some of them I looked at and I went, I don't remember that one. What was that one? Oh, that's right.
Yeah, I did that too.
I would agree, 75% maybe.
75?
This season.
Okay.
Yeah.
You can't say 71.
I mean, last season we met Kate Beckinsale, for crying out loud, and
Yeah.
then she wore our shirt. Like
Yeah.
there were some epic moments of last season that just couldn't be topped this time around. nor are they going to be topped next season.
They might.
Hold
They
on.
might.
Jeez, take it easy, man.
But yes, if we're talking about redoing an episode, one that I would like to redo, one I'd like to rethink altogether was the American History Quiz, episode 113 back in July.
Yep.
And it's because I brought on a good friend of mine, Ryan.
Because you don't like the bigger Batman.
And then we had that fun joke there. But if
pretty
I
much
would have thought about it and been like, when I knew Ryan, because Ryan and I go way back, we were in college together. We wrote a lot of Divine Comedy sketches together. He was like my writing partner, good friends. But Kent came along and you kind of became the new Ryan for me. And if I would have realized I would have had two Kents in the room with me, I would have rethought that show and not made it a quiz show.
Kent, you're my only Ryan.
Where I would have
okay?
Can I just be your Kent?
Yeah.
And
and Ryan,
Sam.
Let's not simplify it.
and Ryan's a really, really funny guy. Like we laugh a lot, we banter a lot.
Okay.
But on that show, I didn't prepare him enough to bring the funny as much, and so I felt like it was a little dry.
I actually liked him in person, and then
Yeah.
on the show, it was just very, by the book. But it just turned into a straight quiz.
Yeah.
And even though I won,
With
and
no
I felt
twists and turns.
good about the win. Yeah, it was no twists and turns.
Like with the
Yeah.
Jacob quiz, you can expect one, he's going to get it online somewhere where it's not his original work. But two, he's going to add a couple Jacob twists that will make it feel original.
Sure. And actually, it kind of taught me.
That's fair,
Along with. It feels original. It's the first search result in Google.
Wait, what's yours, Kent?
Yeah, so it's the American History
So both
Trivia
of you
quiz.
American
Yes.
History?
Yeah, I did have honorable mentions of the Zombie Apocalypse show. I'd like to redo that and not go back and save Kent. Screw you, buddy.
Dude, that was hilarious, though.
And also, I'd like to rethink ever doing Boo a Medea Halloween, because that stupid, horrible, terrible, awful movie.
Well, that's actually
made for a
my
stupid,
favorite.
terrible, horrible, awful review. And now everyone's like, you should review this Medea movie. And I'm like, no.
Joel,
No.
next Halloween, we're doing Boo 2 or Boo 3.
I don't want to.
We're going to.
You guys can, that'll be the first Baconsale without Joel on it.
Oh, that'll be sad. Actually, if
gonna
there's
happen.
one I could redo as actually review, Justice League. I don't want to review or redo the whole show, but I was a little
What
too
do you wanna
kind.
do?
I was too kind in my review.
really?
I dropped the. I saw it again, and I dropped my grade just
Really?
a bit. Yeah, because I give it a B. I was like, yeah, it's a B, close to B plus. It's like easy B minus to C plus.
What did I
Range.
give it? C plus?
Yeah, I think you gave it a C plus.
Yeah.
I think you said if you like this movie, you'll like other movies.
It happened one time, Joel.
If you like capes, there are capes.
There are capes. Not capes.
All right, so my choice is actually not the farmed one, although that would be an honorable mention.
The Farm to Dangerous one?
Yeah, the farmed and dangerous. Mine would be.
Well, that one was funny because I could tell that you had an idea of how you wanted the show to go. Laura had an idea of where the show wanted to go, and it
Yeah.
felt like oil and water, where you could tell which parts came from whom.
Yeah, well, she wanted to make it kind of about her place and the things going on there, and I wanted to make it, and I wanted to incorporate that into the quiz, not have it be a different section, basically.
Yeah.
And it didn't quite work out,
But it was still fun. I actually had a really good time.
No,
with that show.
actually, I think it did turn out okay. For whatever reason, it didn't connect with anyone, and I heard from a lot of people they didn't even play that one.
What?
Yeah, like
listen to our show, listener.
However, background information, listener, because that's the whole point of this show, isn't it? Is Joel and Kent wanted to do a show on horses, and and I could not.
It's because okay.
Best movie horses.
I couldn't talk them out of it, right? And so I finally said, "Why don't we expand it into just farm animals, and maybe Laura can come on?" And they're like, "Okay, that could work." And I'm like, "Close call."
Mostly, I just want to talk about Artex, and then it was.
I still have notes for the horse show. You do on my computer.
Oh man, that's such a terrible idea.
No, what happened was okay. So we're going on a show with Laura. We're like,
Good
hey,
memory on that one.
We said, hey, we'll do a Kevin Bacon episode because she says she's an expert of all things Kevin.
Oh, yeah. That's right.
Apparently,
That's
she didn't mean Kevin Bacon. So we're like, oh crap, what if we do? So we were scrambling for a topic, and we said, what does Laura like? We said, well, we know she loves horses.
Yes.
So then Kent and I started building up this idea.
We got passionate about horses for some reason. Wild hearts can't be broken.
man, that was so
came out of the
funny.
woodwork.
I had to put the kibosh on that.
Yeah.
Oh man. Okay. Yeah. I'm pulling up my notes for horse show right now.
Okay, what do they
and
say?
I have best horses in TV and film. I wrote Mr. Ed.
Wait,
All right.
Joel, don't ruin it. This could be a
No,
future
it's
show.
not. We're not doing this show.
I
Tell
have
us. Spoil
literature.
it
I
now.
have literature and folklore, famous horses, including Artex and Black Stallion and Shadowfax. And then I have film and television, where I include like Goliath from Lady Hawk and Little Sebastian from Parks and Rec.
Listener, if we get
This
to the
would've been
point
a great
where we
show.
start doing like the best dogs, like this isn't working
Beastler.
anymore.
Oh man, I forgot about that, Jacob. Good call.
I love that you have your notes still. That's so
I know.
That is funny.
I was just saved
Yeah,
on the
that is
computer. I was
funny.
like, I bet I still have those notes.
Okay,
And-
here's what I haven't gotten to yet. I
Oh,
haven't said my episode. I would
Okay.
redo the zombie apocalypse.
What?
Because
And you wouldn't have me go back and save Kent.
because I made it too easy. You guys kept surviving. I should have made it. I should have had you die more.
Well, we gave you plenty of time, Jacob, to write it.
Joel and I are very selfish people, and we would survive during this. Oh, you weren't. That's why you died. We would survive
I
pretty
died because
far.
I was selfish, trying to save you.
Thanks, buddy.
There were so many death scenes that had been written, and they just weren't used.
Well, we can only
It was
die once.
Tragic. No, you could die over and over again. You just lost points, and you started over.
Oh.
I set it up with checkpoints.
Well,
and
wait, then
all
how come
this
I died?
stuff.
You didn't let me go out on it.
Oh,
for that.
if you get to a certain point in the narrative, like if you're too far past, then it's the end.
By
of
the way,
narrative.
if we could redo that episode, what I would do is I'd say, hey, Jacob, you don't have to make it a complete secret. You can tell us that it's a Dungeons and Dragons style choose your own adventure game.
No way, that would not have been as interesting.
Actually, I was pretty happy that the way he revealed the show.
Because I just think you put too much of a burden of stress on yourself because you're like, no,
You did.
No one can help me. I am an island.
And if we could redo the show, I would have you do a little more work and make it one story, because us having like a different link story,
no,
like
you can't have the same story. Then you're not competing anymore.
but I mean,
I know, I agree. Although I would
Okay.
say,
No, I would have you. No, if I could redo it, you guys would have distinct stories, so you couldn't learn from each other. It would just
Yeah,
be
exactly.
Totally different
That's what I
narratives.
wanted.
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah.
and that way we wouldn't have to listen to Cruz's body slide down the garage
that's
door
twice.
multiple times.
Yeah, that's a live and learn one. Anyway,
except for Cruz, he didn't live or learn.
but that was fun.
he might have learned. All right, so here's our next one. What's the idea for a show that you guys really wanted to happen but did not?
Well, I do have a number one, but I want to start with my honorable mention, because generally I'll try to come up with like 2 or 3 months in the future and kind of go, hey guys, what do you think about doing a show like this? And there was one I actually teased a year ago in our season finale, and I said, I really want to do an SNL show. And so we didn't, and kind of like what the best era of SNL is in your opinion. And I know it's kind of hard to really do a full hour and a half about that, but I really want to just talk about, like, I don't know, for me, it's like Adam Sandler. Like, I want to say, like, you can't do better than Opera Man. It's the best there is.
Opera Man?
Opera Man. And like, for example, Joel just disagreed right there.
It just doesn't seem like all the characters, that's the one to pick. You know what I mean?
Well, sure.
It's like
it's
iconic
pretty random.
characters. You choose
It's-
Opera Man.
It's Simon. It's Wayne's World. I mean, all those characters. Anyways, I don't want to get too far
he
into it
was
because
random.
it's a show I want to do.
And we can still save that for season 4.
The number one show I wanted to do was have actually Kate Beckinsale on the show.
And that was a goal we set during last season finale.
And as you recall, I tried to get you guys to let me reach out to her, but you wouldn't let me.
What?
It just still feels weird.
Joel keeps telling me no.
Wait,
No, not about that.
You put the kibosh on this? I am like, please
No,
do
no, it was
this.
just he was doing it like right after, and I was like, whoa, I don't want to scare her off. Which, by the way, I
There's
checked,
a couple
guys,
months, few
she still follows us on Twitter.
Does she?
Yay!
She still follows
Oh,
Baconsale on
that's
Twitter.
cool. That is cool.
And she only follows like 50 people.
Can I reach out to her now, Joel?
If you want to reach out to her, I don't know, maybe try to go through her publish's first proper channels.
Because last time you said no, we need to practice like the audio Skyping sort of thing before I can
And
reach out.
first.
Jake, I have a lot of experience dating now in this past year, and so I feel like she'd be a little
Don't
more
bring it up again.
You're in a
a little
better
more
place.
warm.
You're in a
Don't
better
bring it up
place.
again.
Yeah.
I'm in a much better place. So
Actually, you know what? I think I'm going to bring that up when I ask her to be on the show.
would you
Right
actually?
from the
Because
beginning, yeah.
she got divorced.
This is
at
gonna go
the
great.
last year's show. So let's give it a shot.
I feel like this might be a match made in heaven, honestly.
Probably.
Yeah.
So don't listen.
You're
to
like,
this
I really like him. He made a podcast after my name.
Yeah,
Isn't
right?
he cute?
He was one of those 3 guys
Just
that
like
paid
he's-
money to see me.
He's kind of tall, but I'm into it. You know, that's what she'll be like.
Thanks, Jake. I mean, everything you're saying sounds great.
You should say it with a British accent. It might sound more realistic.
Nope.
Oh, dang it.
I almost got him to do it.
not
Jacob-
the lady British accent. I don't
That was
think
your
I can
honorable
do it.
mention?
No, that was my choice.
Oh, that was your
If
choice, yeah, yeah.
The idea I wish we'd
That-
done
oh, yeah,
is
honorable
actually
mention SNL.
had her on the phone.
Jacob, do you have
Beckinsale.
one idea you wish you would have done?
Yeah, I wish we had done the deep dive. I've been talking about this for, I don't know, about a year now, which a listener, what this is referring to, and Joel and Kent know what I'm talking about, is I pick some random
We
movie.
do an entire podcast underwater.
Yeah, that'd be interesting.
Who can hold their breath the longest?
Who will survive? What would Baconsale do?
Wait, did you just say you? How long can you hold your breath for? He's doing it right now, everybody.
this is going to be great recording.
It's good for podcasting. Everyone who's not here, because we need to do this on YouTube, Joel just pointed at himself like, I'm already doing it.
And I laughed and lost. Yeah.
So no, the deep dive would be like I pick a single movie, and it would have to be a stupid movie, a movie that does not deserve this level of attention. And then I quiz Joel and Kent about the most minute ridiculous, like trivial details
Like what
of that
cereal
movie.
box is on the table at the breakfast scene.
Yeah. So say I do like Grown Ups or something, right? Like just some
why would you
terrible
choose that?
movie.
Pick what
right?
we like.
No, I'm not picking one you
I have
like.
to spend time on this. I'm an old man.
It has to be a really
I
stupid
only have
movie.
so many more heartbeats left.
Anyway, with some stupid random movie, and then I quiz them in just a straight versus quiz off of just the most absurdly deep details. Anyway, I think that's going to be a fun show whenever we do that. Hopefully we do someday.
My runner-up was the Killer Dad bracket because we did the TV.
Oh,
my
yeah,
TV
we
dad
didn't
can
get
beat
to
up
it.
your TV dad, and I had a whole separate bracket for Killer Dads.
Well, we never did that.
We never did that.
It seemed like we did, though. I
No,
guess
we were
didn't.
going to for one of the bacon bits, but then something else took its place. So I'm thinking probably around Father's Day in season 4, we'll probably get the Killer Dad bracket in.
Okay, well,
Probably, yeah.
It's a long
But
wait.
my number one is the Mom Show.
Oh,
I want the Mom Show to happen, and it didn't happen this last season. And what,
Can you
if don't-
explain? Yeah, explain.
If you don't know what the Mom Show is, have we talked about it on the show before?
No.
So this is kind of an insight into our brain, but
That's the whole point of the show, which is kind of fun, actually.
yeah, we wanted to do it for Mother's Day last year. It didn't work out just because Jacob's mom lives farther away. But we wanted to get our 3 moms.
It
in
really
the room
is a good idea.
and just let them have a conversation, and we would come up with questions to have them ask about
Each other, yeah.
Each other. Like we're still working out the details, but we kind of like the idea of our 3 moms representing each one of us and showing off their personalities.
Right. I mean, every week my mom tries to get on the show anyways. So it would be great to just give her my mic, get Joel's mom right there.
Yep.
We need to get your mom in town. And really,
Yeah.
it kind of revolves around that.
Yeah, she'll come in town sometime.
Yeah,
And
and,
then
when she
just-
does, we'll get that.
For them to embarrass us and tell embarrassing stories. And because it won't be about movies or
She
anything
actually
like
came
that.
into town just like a couple of weeks before we had this idea.
Really?
And then she hasn't been back since. Yeah.
Oh, I miss your mom.
Yeah, I know.
Weird.
What? What's wrong? What's weird about that?
Let's move on to the next
She's a
topic,
lovely
Jacob.
woman.
Yeah, I don't miss his mom at all because I always get to see her.
Wait. Weird.
Anyway, the next category. All right, so
weirdest episode.
all right, so 3 favorite moments from 2017 or season 3.
3 favorite moments. Why don't you go first on this one, Jacob?
I don't actually have a full 3, so I'd like to hear your guys's.
You can just name some favorite moments that come to mind.
Well, yeah.
Yeah, how about I help you on this one a little
Okay,
bit?
yeah.
So this year we started a app. It's called Marco Polo. And we already talk on Facebook
I have
Messenger.
the one is the only one I can think of. I just remembered it.
Right. So every day we talk on Facebook Messenger and we're just like, hey, you guys, how many hours of planning have you put into this show? Should we mix the format up or anything like that? But then when we wanted to actually have that, because often we'll be like, I didn't understand you. Was that a score or soundtrack? That sort of thing.
Yeah, that's where it started. Was like, we need to clarify this.
So Marco Polo is a silly app that's basically walkie-talkie on video. Where it's like, hey guys, how's it going? And let me tell you this story. But it became...
It's another way for Jacob to ignore the conversation.
I don't ignore it on Messenger.
Whoa, you do.
I have for the last week or
You've
two.
been very busy, and so like
Yeah.
we could see when people have watched the video or read the messages. We're like, well, Jacob's not hearing this.
You're right. But we have our own group, which is great. Like if people could get a glimpse, if people could hack into our Marco Polo.
My wife said we should release the Marco Polo videos.
No,
as
Some
because
of them
part
are
of the
very
podcast.
funny.
There's so many dating stories.
There are. Well, not all of
On
them.
there?
There's
No.
some long ones and boring ones and some business ones, but she cracks up when she gets to see them.
My favorite is that Joel will be laying in bed, sometimes shirtless. I don't even know, but he's sitting there.
Oh, that's a favorite moment, actually.
No, is being like, Joel, are you going to bed? And then all of a sudden he'll come back on and he'll move the camera and his wife's laying right there. And I'm like, oh my gosh.
Okay, you reminded me of that's totally one of my favorite moments is when Joel and I came to Kent's place when he wasn't here.
Yeah.
And I can't remember what we were doing here.
We were
Why?
picking up equipment, weren't we?
Oh yeah, we're getting equipment. So
Yeah.
so Joel and I get in and I'm like, man, there's got to be a prank. There's some sort of prank, and I don't remember how we came to it, but ultimately we decided that we were going to get in Kent's bed.
No. So the video is you lying in Kent's.
So, yeah.
You lying in a bed.
I'm
Talking to Ken on Marco Polo.
And I'm like, so I got the camera pretty close to my face, and I'm like, oh, guys, I'm sorry. I'm going to be running a little late. And then I slowly pull the camera out, and then I point over so you can see Joel as
And
well.
you tell it's Kent's bed, and I'm laying there with it, and I'm like, oh, I'm gonna be late too.
Oh, did we sleep in?
I'm going to
Ken
find
just-
a way to share this video
And
with
Ken just right in the
everyone.
back and goes. Ken just messages back and it's like, you jerks.
Yeah.
You guys are jerks.
Yeah.
It felt a little wrong.
Oh, my gosh. Was the spoon this year?
Yeah, the spoon is this year.
That's totally one of mine, too. Kent got so mad at me.
Oh yeah, tell the spoon.
So there's the haunted spoon.
The haunted spoon is something Kent got from a friend from
Yes.
the Amityville house where some horrible murders and hauntings occurred.
Correct. And I never, ever brought it home on purpose.
Your wife wouldn't let you.
Yeah, and I'm a little superstitious about it, so I left it at work. And then when I got laid off last year, I said,
He left it with me.
I said, Jake, this is a gift to the building. I hope it burns down. And it kind of did in a way. None of us work there now and everything like that. But then when you finally left, and you took it with you, and I was hoping you would have left it. And all of a sudden, one night, I'm like, I go to bed.
After we're done recording.
We're done recording. It's 2:30 in the morning, and I kind of just lift up my blanket. And I'm like, so tired. And I see laying half under my pillow the spoon in the shadow box.
Yes.
And I may have said a choice word to you in text.
He did.
Yeah, he did.
Swore, listener. He was angry. He was legitimately angry that Jacob had left a haunted item on his bed.
Yeah, Kent went upstairs for something. And I was like, Joel, come check out what I did.
And it was funny because like 3 hours before we were just about to start recording, I saw Jake like sneak something and run into my room. Like, what are you doing? Don't be immature. You're sneaking the spoon in.
Yeah, it was the spoon. Yeah, no, I mean, it's hard to even convey because Kent was genuinely mad.
I was.
Because he doesn't mess around with that kind of stuff.
I couldn't get rid of it quick enough.
Yeah, you got rid of it now, though, right?
Yeah, he
It's
gave
gone.
it away. Someone accepted it, so it's gone.
Yes.
My favorite episode, I had a couple different ones. I just want to run through real quick. None of them are very long. Getting creeped out during the horror pitch show.
Oh, really?
'Cause
Okay.
when we did the horror pitch show, I legitimately had to close the
It
blinds.
seemed like a lot of people like
And then
that.
I had to listen to happy music after, and the whole drive home, and even when I got home, I could not get the creeps out. I just
Oh, that's awesome.
no amount of Gilmore Girls helped me,
Usually gives you the creep.
but it was hilarious. And then Baconsale at Lagoon for Pod Bash Day was a lot of fun, getting to meet a lot of you, and then us just getting to hang out in our Baconsale shirts.
Yeah. And I was wearing the mismatched Baconsale shirt.
Yeah,
It was really nice to go to Lagoon with you guys because we don't get to hang out normally when it's not.
and just in a casual setting,
Yeah,
we didn't even
yeah.
have to talk shop.
It was nice.
We went on over at Zupa's together, and
Yeah, it was sweet.
it was a great time.
Oh, and you guys got me to go on the rocket.
We did.
Yeah.
That's how you got another pitch show. Is I
Yeah,
forced you to
exactly.
go on the rocket. And oh man, that was a great moment too. We talked about that on another episode.
Oh, right,
But when
yeah.
the rocket malfunctioned while we were on it, and so Ken had to wait there just for it to go off forever.
I'll never forget turning and seeing his face yelling.
Yeah, because then we were like, I think it's broken.
I think I said another swear word, actually.
You may have. But my number one moment was actually on the air, and it was on episode 109, our What a Wonderful Wonder Woman World, the Wonder Woman episode.
Okay.
And it was when Dr. Matt called you out for not taking him to Wonder Woman when you promised you would.
That was your favorite moment?
Really?
Just because I remember that.
He really did call you
Because
out
you read
hard,
the text where I
Because it was
promised
like, he
it.
says, oh, you guys went to Wonder Woman on the air. Ken didn't know what was going to happen. He's like, on the air. Hey, yeah, you went to Wonder Woman, huh? Let me read this text from you. March whatever at 7:08 p.m.
Yeah.
Hey, I'm going to take you to Wonder Woman. Oh, that'd be great. Yeah, I'll make it happen.
Yeah, he like pinned you to the wall. with
I
that one.
love it. Was so funny
yeah.
because you could tell how uncomfortable Kent was. And
I
that
felt
was a great
so
moment.
bad. And then I said, I'll bring you to Spider-Man. I didn't bring
do
him to
that.
Spider-Man.
Oh, man.
So there are a few things like off air as well. Us, when we were doing our Taco Bell challenge, which lasted about 8 months
Yeah, it was
because
long.
we
It
kept going
really
on
did,
diets.
yeah. Yep.
It was just getting Taco Bell before recording, which we just kept doing. We get 3 or 4 things at a time.
Yeah.
And then on one night, it was actually Jake's birthday. We got the boat. What was
Yeah,
the
the
boat
double
chalupa?
Yeah, that thing's so good.
And we put candles in it.
oh,
and
they
we
don't
did
have
a-
that anymore. Now I want one. Darn it.
We did a Facebook Live video to you, and it was just like, here you go. Here's your chalupa. And I miss getting Taco Bell with you guys because,
Well, we got another food challenge coming up in season 4, so maybe we can do it again.
yes, we do. And also, from the music episode, it's when They Might Be Giants won. Joel was so excited.
That was really thrilling.
But then when Nirvana lost to Smashing Pumpkins, he was so mad.
Yeah.
Except for...
That
I
bracket
love
was one of my
Smashing
favorite.
Pumpkins. I love Smashing Pumpkins, but it just seemed like Nirvana should have gone much farther. And that was probably
No,
my fault. No, I didn't make that bracket.
If I could have redone that show, yeah, I'd call it the Nirvana 90s bracket.
Well, if
they
I-
wouldn't actually be included.
If I would have redone that show, I would have fought to keep the bigger bands kind of separate from each other, so they would have been able to battle it out.
There was too many
Right.
big bands was the
Because
trouble.
we structured the one hit wonder bracket a little bit better, I think.
I think so too.
And then
I
also,
don't think so.
I really had fun with our original dating etiquette show, where I was just, I don't know if this was news to you, but like the story about the claw on the creeping finger. Like I remember Jake's reactions to this.
Yeah.
Where just you thought I was the strangest person
Claw
ever.
on the creeping pinky.
Yeah, the creeping pinky. That's what it was.
Yeah.
people
It
listening
turned
to
out I was
those
right.
after, and you're right. Yeah.
Oh, and just playing Sega games too. Like when we were getting ready for the Sega show,
yeah.
and we were doing our countdown, and you and I just got to play games, and I was like, "Sorry, honey, it's research for Baconsale."
Exactly.
But I got to play with my son too, and he really enjoyed it, so it was a good time.
It brings families together.
Man, warm fuzzy time.
All right, guys, for the next category, I mean, we already brought up Dr. Matt, but what are some of the other guests we had this year? Remind everybody.
Well, we actually had Dr. Matt on twice. We
Yeah,
had
we
him in
did.
February for our Love show, and then in March for our Wonder Woman show.
We need to have Dr. Matt back again.
We do have Dr. Mac again. And
In fact, I think we have a plan to, don't we?
we were talking about bringing him back on for a What Would Baconsale Do 3, because that is such an insight into our psyche.
Yes.
And I'd love to be able to him get answers for us, and then also that he can turn the tables on Jacob and say, Jacob, what about you? Let's talk about your psyche.
And I'll be like, look, Dr. Matt, that's enough about my mom. Let's hear about your mom.
Let's see if that works. I still say, though, even if Dr. Matt were
Like,
in the
I
room
don't already know,
psychoanalyzing,
though.
you'd shut down. But we also had, of course, Sam, Jeff, and Terry on our 100th show. Congratulations again, guys, for getting on there. Woo!
Yeah. Woo.
And then we had Mark on for The Fate of the Furious, which I've now watched all the Fast and Furious episodes, and I went back and listened.
Episodes.
Sorry. Well, yeah, that too.
That's so funny
I listened to the
because
Fast and
it
Furious
really like tells what you
movies.
think. Yeah.
I watched them all on Mark's thing, and I've been talking to him about it. But then I went back and listened to one of our first shows, like our 4th episode,
Fan
or
and the
something.
Furious.
Fan and the Furious. It made so much more sense now.
Did it?
Yeah, it
Okay.
did.
Do you feel bad that knowing that you've watched those movies?
A little bit.
Like you wasted a little bit of time?
Yeah, especially some of
Yeah,
the.
but you
earlier
enjoyed it a
ones.
little bit, though, right?
It was like every other one.
Did you like it more than Star Wars?
Let's not talk about that.
Yeah.
And then we had Ryan Croker, we talked about for the history show. And then we had FeminAugust.
Yes, we did.
Where we had Brittany Nelson for Phantom versus Les Mis. That went really well for some of us. And then
I was going to say, who's that? I don't remember. Wait, oh, yeah.
Strange, right?
we had Laura on for The Farmed and Dangerous with Aaron in the background. And then we had Paige and Jordan on the Millennial Dating Show with Courtney and Amelia in the background.
Indeed.
We had Emily on their time travel show. And then we had Bob Bador for comedy. So we had a
Really good run of guests,
Yes, good
actually.
guests there. And I feel a little bad because we did get burned out.
We
by,
did.
by the FeminAugust thing, just because it was so difficult scheduling. We already have enough time. We have issues scheduling our schedules, and throwing in a 4th person or a 5th person,
Or a
all of a
6th.
sudden it became like,
Right.
oh my gosh, I can't do it this night or this night or this night or this night. So this is the only time we can do it, or else we're screwed.
So then we ended up at 3 a.m. on Kent's roof, which is really bad
Yeah.
for recording.
No big deal.
Yeah. No, there was the one time we ended up like at 2 a.m. in Saratoga Springs or wherever it was, and it was like, oh, I got to drive all the way home and then get up tomorrow.
Right.
Ah.
But I really like the use of like guests, much like we did Brandon Mole last year.
Yep.
And we did Brittany this year, where we do a versus match, and then they help us decide the winner. Because
That is a good setup.
yeah, like I like that there's no winner in shows like Neverending Story and Labyrinth.
Right.
But this, I was also happy that Les Mis beat Phantom somehow.
And recording in that spooky theater we recorded was awesome too.
Exactly.
Yeah, it was.
But even having like the millennial dating etiquette show, which is great because I feel like we're pretty smart, but maybe we didn't cover every base.
Well, and it's a different perspective too. That's one thing I like, because we all have pretty varying views and opinions, but then we bring on another person too, and it really does add a different flavor to the show and a different voice, because some of us say that we sound all alike.
And just to hear you giddy
like
over,
we're three
over
white guys.
musicals and in comedy improv, like those are two of your happiest shows of the year.
You think so?
Yeah.
I think I was deathly ill during Bob's show, during the comedy show.
But just
Were you?
really,
I had cough drops in my mouth. I remember that one.
it didn't seem so because you seem pretty stoked,
I was on improv. I had to be.
and you're on
so-
drugs, so you were happy.
Yes, I was on halls.
So who are we looking at for season 4?
Oh, is this like big guests that we're trying
Yeah,
to get?
anybody we're
Like
trying
one.
for? Yeah.
We already mentioned Brandon Mull. I'd love to have him back on. I actually talked to him about coming back on. He's like, yeah, sure, whenever you want me back on. So we'll pick a topic and
we
go
should
with
set up
that.
something.
Mom's show I already mentioned, and then I mentioned this on the last.
It doesn't really seem like guests. It seems like they're just taking over the show.
Right.
Well, it'd be like a bacon bit, but they are guests. We'll make them feel very at home.
That'd be a fun bacon.
Or actually at home. In some cases.
Yes. But then the one I wanted to do, and I mentioned this in the last show, and if you're listening, Abe, we want to have you back on for our parenting show. I think that'll be
Yeah.
a fun topic to bring up, because he's gotten he keeps getting awards on Twitter for funny parenting tweets and stuff like that. I think talking about parenting is something we've never really done on the show, and it would be fun to have a comedian in the room as well.
I would like to get Lindsay Sterling on the show.
I'm sure you would.
Just, I think it'd be
Why is Ken trying to date all of our guests?
true story.
Is Brandon still single?
Yeah, I know. Last time we had a good conversation. I just feel like because we kind of plan to do a YouTube show, and I feel like to have some sort of YouTube celebrity would be really good to have on to talk about like what's out there or what to watch, what to avoid, and that sort of thing. I feel like that would be pretty good to have her on.
So what would the angle be to have Lindsay Sterling on? What would you do?
I sent her actually a note asking her if she was
In
interested.
class?
Yeah, passed it in class. Yes, no, or maybe. Circle.
Well, actually, my friend Lieb, who does the Tick podcast, he was her first boyfriend.
Lieb? I thought it was Liam.
No, it's Lieb.
Oh, Lieb.
He dated her in high school. He was her first boyfriend.
What?
Yeah, and he has her number, and he's
That sounds like a Jacob story.
No. He texted her, and I saw her text back.
Huh.
And I was like, "Do you want to say something about me?"
But was it like Lindsay Stewartling or
Dude,
something like that?
that's a fantastic game. We should invite her on the show.
Yeah, we could actually.
Yeah, let's
But
do it.
She's a little busy.
Doing what?
For now.
Nothing.
Also, I'd like to have other authors. Like we've talked about James Dashner before because we met him a few years back.
Richard Paul Evans would be a good one too.
Paul Evans. I mean, I do want to talk about like horror novels, maybe Stephen King in the future. So it'd be nice to have a novelist.
Should we have Stephen King on too?
No, he's a little bit he's kind of a crackpot.
In Joel's face.
Also, we did a little bit with NaNoWriMo with Bob this year. And so I would like next year, maybe Brandon would be good to talk about how to publish a book. To go a little bit outside of what Baconsale normally does.
And that's just it. Is like at the we just went to Brandon's party, and I'm like, man, there's a lot of authors here that I could just ask, and I'm sure they'd love to be on the show.
That's awesome.
I would like to also one of my friends does Dungeons and Dragons. One of the guys that was at the party as well. And he talked about doing a live Dungeons and Dragons with a bunch of comedians, and I thought, oh, that would be so funny if we could do like a condensed version on the show with him. So I've thought about that too. But
also, I'm thinking about bringing Chunga in on the show for an 80s pop rock bracket. Like it would be pretty in depth, and we may get chewed up alive based on
just
what we
the
did with the
seating or
90s show.
actually doing it.
Ooh,
Ooh.
I know. He put
That's
us all
all I
to
need
task.
now is another Kent in the room.
But he knows a lot more about that, and I'd be like, I like.
Are you
that
calling
song.
him old? Is that what you're saying?
No,
He is.
he was a radio DJ.
I think
He knows
said
his crap.
decrepit.
Oh man.
Well, and I'd love to have Greg from Greg's Guide on too.
Yes.
I think he's a great host, and I love his taste in music. And I'd like to go back on Greg's Guide as well. So if you haven't listened to Greg's Guide to Music, listen to that podcast.
It is
it's
awesome.
great.
You know who you guys haven't mentioned though?
Who?
Kate Beckinsale.
He did first thing.
Oh, you did?
Remember?
Look.
I must not have
Jake,
been paying attention.
Jake, I just feel like it's never going to happen, so I don't want to get my hopes up. Okay.
Okay. Well, as soon as Joel lets me, I will reach out.
Let him,
proper,
please.
Proper channels first, and you figure out
Improper
the
channels?
audio. No, you figure out the audio.
Oh.
You go through proper
If
channels.
you schedule this, I will make it happen.
There you go, Jacob.
This will be the
Green
most
light.
pristine sounding
Go through
show
proper
ever.
channels
I'm gonna
first.
reach out. I actually like drafted this really excellent reach out, and then I lost it. I don't remember where it was because it was so long ago.
We need to do this though because this was the thing that was missing from season 3 is more Kate.
Yeah.
What
Maybe
about
I'll reach out
Kevin?
to Kevin too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We actually disregard Kevin
Bacon.
too much.
Let's not talk about Kevin Bacon, not Laura's Kevin. Let's make sure we're very clear on that.
Exactly.
All right, guys. For the next topic, let's talk about the show where, looking back, you know you were wrong.
And wrong, we mean you didn't think it was a good idea, but then it turned out good.
Oh, I thought it was kind of a mix. Like it's you had an opinion that you totally reversed.
Last year we did last year that was the theme was you were wrong on you didn't want to do it and the show turned out fine. But if we want to mix it up, I'm fine with that.
Okay,
too.
no, yeah, that works.
The zombie apocalypse one, it was mostly just because Jacob would not tell us anything, and all he would say is, "Guys, I've done so much work on this." More than any paper I've ever written in my entire life.
I'm just making it up.
and I can't tell you anything.
For 2 weeks, you're like, guys, I'm so stressed.
I'm so stressed. I'm dying.
You're
guys.
going to be shocked
This
at the
is
amount of
so
work I
much.
put into this. I said,
cannot bear this burden alone, but I must.
I must carry this ring.
And Kent and I were having conversations like, is it going to be any good? Because we didn't know. And it turned out to be one of the more fun shows in the entire season.
This happens to me every year where Jake's like, I got this, whether it's the pyramid, whether it's the first What Would Baconsale Do or whatnot. I go, Joel, I think Jake's going to like really drop the ball on this one. And I think this show is going to be terrible. And every single time, Jake,
Heck yeah.
you knock it out of the park.
Or Kent saves it.
Until
on the
next
100th episode. What?
We'll talk about that in a little bit. But no, that show, I did not believe in you at all.
Thanks.
Yeah, I don't.
But I love you for it. Like
It turned out to be one-
surprise
it turned out to
that
be
came
one-
out.
one of the biggest shows in the-
Someday you guys will learn to trust me. That's
Even
all.
like editing, because I edit
I may
the
never
show.
live
weren't
to
so
see that
cryptic
day.
about it.
It'll be like after I'm dead. You're like, you know what? I think I trusted him.
Like so much that show worked out so well that I'm sure we'll probably have 2 of those episodes next season.
We've already got it kind of penciled in.
Yeah, I do have one pencil.
So get ready, start writing now.
And the other one I was wrong on was the millennial dating one.
Okay.
Just because I was worried about that one because they're like, okay, we're going to have Paige on the show. Great. Paige's going to bring her friend Jordan. Okay. Courtney's coming. What? Amelia's coming. What? I was like, how are we going to get them on there? We have so many people in the room. This isn't going to be good. This is going to be a terrible show with so many people in the room. We only have this many mics.
It worked.
But it worked out great.
Well, we almost made it a bacon bit because we were just not sure how to do it, right? It was just like, it's going to be one of us guys and the rest girls.
Well, and we already had a dating etiquette. So,
and we wanted to give them the most time, but it actually worked out really well. And there was so much content there, and it was so highly rated after the fact as well.
And we had an audience, which was kind of fun.
It was great.
Then it was like we'd make a joke around the table, and the people on the couches would laugh, and it's like, oh, that might get a good audience response. And so I was wrong on that, in that it kind of made it more fun to have more people in the room.
Another show I was wrong on was the Sega episode.
Sega!
Because you should have gone for SNES. Is that what you're saying?
No, because I love Sega so much. Is because I was like, guys, I don't think we have enough content here. We should just do like a top 5 games for every system, or just make it a really extensive thing. And then, you were both kind of like in that. Joel, I think you were especially behind this saying, let's just do Sega. It's fine. We'll do top 20 games or whatever. I'm like, there's not enough there. People don't care about the Genesis. But I had such a blast doing the research and talking about those games.
That was one of those ones where it's actually true. I don't think enough people were connecting with all of those games. But because you guys loved it so much, it worked, right?
And Kent we put the soundtrack behind them, which made it even more fun.
It was great.
It was like, I remember this song. Jacob, do you have any ones you were wrong on?
Nope. I was right every time.
You never doubted us like going into a show, or you just like, you guys can do it. I hope this works.
Well, no, there's a few. I mean, like you guys get really into the soundtrack and feels.
We do, yeah.
And I don't care as much. And so, and then when I'm in the show, I'm like, this is actually pretty fun.
Yeah.
But that's happened twice now because we've had 2 of those.
Exactly.
And both times I'm like, well, this is actually pretty cool. And it's you guys because you sell it because you're so freaking into it.
Yeah. And it helps that we talk about when you should listen to these soundtracks, right? Like what mood you need to be in, or do you need to be in your car, that sort of thing.
I'll tell you when you were wrong
like
on,
on paper, it just doesn't make sense. Oh, yeah?
Here we go.
Supernatural. You were so nervous for that show, and like, I don't know, should we do that one? I don't know if I have time.
Well,
I don't know if it's going to go well.
I don't know if I was wrong.
I'm not really prepared.
I
and then
still
you
don't
converted
know.
how many people to Supernatural?
I don't know. Like 1, 2,
At least
-3
that I know of.
I don't know.
Like there was multiple people who got on there were like, I've watched Supernatural now, and I love it. And I was like, told you, Jacob.
Well, no, I mean, sincerely, I was like, is it really worth a whole show? I don't know. But, I mean, there was a precedent,
13
though.
seasons.
Because it is, and it is still going.
What's the deal, by the way? I have to finish season 3 by next Halloween, or I owe you like a taco bar.
I think it was 2 seasons. You were going to do 2 seasons.
Let's say 2 then.
No, I think it's 3.
2 more seasons.
No, I think I had to be on season 3 by the time.
Just get to the Wincest and we'll be fine.
No, don't. Family friendly.
And you didn't know that tweet was a Supernatural tweet.
No,
You said
no
that. It was really
No
funny.
clue.
Yeah, I saw that. I'm like, I bet he doesn't even know. Okay. All right. Which episode took you the most work?
Are we talking to me on this one?
I had one in mind for you, but I want to know if you think it's the same.
Well, we've
one.
already talked about mine, so I'll just get out of the way. It's the zombie apocalypse.
Yours took
one.
what, 2.5 weeks to write this story, right?
I worked on it hours every day.
Actually, so you win. You take the cake here. Stress-wise, I think we tie.
Yeah.
But I think you take the cake for the most amount of work.
I don't really deserve that, though, because most of the time you guys put in the work. It was just like this one time I put in this superhuman amount of work, whereas most of the time you guys carry.
How much did your wife do on that, too?
Tons. She helped a lot. She helped a lot.
Did she really write it, Jacob? You can tell us now. It's okay.
She wrote a lot of it, yeah.
So she did it.
I mean,
it was hers. Are you really your wife right now?
I like that she exists now because season 1, she didn't really exist. We weren't sure she was around.
That's right. Now we met her.
Now that you actually are married.
Yeah.
So, Joel, which one would you guess took the most amount of work?
I
think, is this post-production? Is that what you're going to say?
Well, okay. For me, the ones that took the most amount of work were the 90s alternative tournament. There was so much research. I think I had like combined total of like 30 pages of stuff on that. No. Sorry, that was 16 pages. It was the non-Disney animated that was 30 pages because it was a 2-parter, and I had to watch so many of those crappy movies and then take notes on them. And I go overboard in notes. You guys know that. By the way, this season marked our longest episode ever. I just had that note here.
Which was?
The 90s alternative bands. The first part was 2 hours and 10 minutes.
Oh my gosh, we're so sorry.
That used to be held by Dr. Matt and the Psychology of Fear, which was 1 hour and 45 minutes.
That was a long one.
And I believe with that one, wasn't that one we're like, should we split it up?
We have no restraint on this show.
No, we try to keep it to a tight hour, but we never do.
It's an hour 20 at least every time.
Usually. But I think the one that the most work Kent had to do was for our 100th episode. Is that right, Kent?
That is correct.
A lot of editing.
So it wasn't just me. Jake's the one that put together this quiz. We had to reach out.
A ton of work.
We had to reach out to the listeners.
Snacks.
Didn't you do surveys? Yeah, you brought snacks. Well done, Joel.
Yeah, I set up surveys, and then
we had to pick the listener.
Wait, I wrote that survey.
Did you write it?
Yeah, and then I wrote the rejection letter, and you sent them out.
We all came together on that one.
Well, no, we did all work on the survey together.
Yeah, I can't. Yeah, because I remember working on it, but I can't remember how much.
So for that episode,
but I remember I wrote the letters because then people were responding to me as if I were you, and I'm like, I'm not Jacob.
Here's where the fear came in for this one. We did not record where we normally record.
No.
So we brought all of our equipment to my office.
That was stressful.
Where there's a different table, there's a few different mics. We were setting it all up into one mixer. So 6 mics all together.
We had to have a producer in the booth.
Yes, we
levels,
did.
So Emily came and helped out with that.
And the audio on the computer, because I was using Audition, and I usually use GarageBand, it was just all over the place. And I don't know if you guys noticed, before the show, I was like sweating buckets where I'm like, I can't get this to work.
Batman v Superman levels of stress.
You
pretty much.
You thought it might have all been ruined, right?
Well, and that's what kind of comes into play, because we recorded the show. We probably went 3.5 hours recording on that one.
There was a lot of kind of pausing and figuring out
the rules.
And
because the rules were,
and Terry, I wanted to say, normally the shows are much more real time.
Yeah, concise.
That was when I had to do a lot of editing because there was a lot we were trying to get figured out in the moment.
It was easily the most hectic.
Yeah, so we finished the show. We have a listener with Sam, and we're all excited. I get home, and I'm like, well, let me check and see how that sound file looks. And generally, when I edit, you can see the sound waves bouncing up and down. This one, I could only see just a minute little scratch.
The audio was super low.
If it was a lifeline, this person's dying in a second. Mm-hmm. And so I was like, oh, okay, maybe it's just my computer, or maybe it's how I downloaded it. That's fine. No, for 2 nights, I was texting you guys, and I said, guys, I know we just recorded this show where we found the listener. It was our 100th episode. The show is lost.
Yeah.
There's no way we can salvage this. It was
a punch to the gut.
Almost in tears.
Yeah.
And so I reached out to Chunga. I said, can you save this? And he tried. He made it louder, but all you could hear is white noise. And I said, oh, I don't know what to do. So I seriously went back to work like 3 days later, because over the weekend I went back and I messed with Audition. I said a prayer before I started, and I got in. I said, maybe if I just click this button, boom, move that up. And we had a show that sounded just like a normal show. Yeah. I'm not even sure how it happened because we didn't record it well.
I think I know how it happened, Kent.
Aw, that's tender. But no, and it was still a beast to edit because it's 3.5 hours down to about 1:40.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And trying to find where...
But adding in the buzzers and
exactly.
And the things, like you pulled that show together, Kent. So bravo to both of you for making that show work, because it was a little rough going for a bit there.
Yeah. I think if we do another quiz like that, or next year when we find the next listener... of 2018.
Well, it was just a hot mess you had to work with.
Right. I think we're going to know exactly what we're doing.
Oh, me. Not me.
Not you.
The show.
You just called you a hot mess. Is that what?
I'm okay with that.
It's your hair.
Right.
All right. So next category is, what episode did we do that really got the listener riled up, that had the strongest reaction?
So are we talking positive or negative on
I think
this
it
one?
could go either way.
I think
just reaction.
Because I'll go first on this. I actually looked at the most positive as far as like engagement goes on social media.
I did too.
Oh, you did? Okay. So and tell me if I'm wrong.
It's because we're so positive here.
On Facebook, we did the 90s music bracket part 1.
Yeah.
And this one had a 2,000 person reach, and we had 146 roundabout
comments. Yeah, it was like 150 comments basically.
Because we're just like, which band's your favorite? And everyone kind of jumped in there and, of course, giving us feedback for bands we eliminated. And people were a little upset, but they're still like, but here's my favorite. Here's one I want to go all the way. Mm-hmm. And so we got a ton of feedback on that, which is always fun to see, because that's why we were like doing this. I mean, Joel, by the way, does our Facebook and Twitter, and you help with Twitter as well, Jake, I believe.
I mean, a little. Joel does most.
As much as on Messenger, that's how much he does.
Okay. Marco Polo as well. Yeah. But Joel will create a different blurb for each show, different on social media than it shows up actually on the WordPress or WordPress post. And so he does that because he wants to create engagement, or he does a tease every week in order to get engagement.
Unless we have a bacon bit.
Yes, exactly. And so that one, we had a ton of feedback, which was really nice and rewarding to see.
It is, and we love hearing from you on social media, because then it shows us, hey, someone's listening.
Yes.
So I had that down too as one of the most engaged ones. And then one of the more personally negative feedback ones I got was when, and this is so ridiculous.
Okay.
Because on the the non-Disney animated part 2, I gave Anastasia and Land Before Time a tier 2, but I didn't give it a tier 1.
It felt like a tier 3.
I heard back from so many people being like, "You're an idiot! How dare you give Land Before Time a tier 2? Anastasia's the best thing ever. I hate you for giving it a tier 2." And I was like, "This has got to be what Kent feels like every day of his life."
It is. It's a lot of anxiety.
Because I don't like being the villain. Well, sometimes I do.
This year,
Joel 2017 has had a lot of fun. So much fun.
Wait, what? Jeez.
Nothing.
You know, it wasn't really the show this year because it wasn't necessarily recorded this year, but we did have a huge social media thing in the summer. Was it June? Something like that when
please don't.
An old rivalry
came
up.
Don't remember.
And
that never happened.
That didn't happen? Because I remember seeing something and Joel like doing a screen capture and taking a picture. It had like 210 comments or something ridiculous.
It never happened.
You say that and you know what it's going to do? It's going to get people talking about it again.
Yeah.
Should I not even say the name?
Don't say the name.
It's like he who must
fans
not
get
be
a little
named.
carried away. Let's say that.
No, honestly, that was fun to watch for a little while, and then it kept going far.
That was my biggest regret.
Oh my gosh.
My biggest regret of season 2 was that Disney villain bracket. That was my biggest regret.
No,
I just have no patience for fake accounts.
And so season 3, the fact that continued a year and a half later, I said, yeah, I still definitely regret it. Joel, I'd like to apologize for everything I did back then.
Accept it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Go back and change it.
I can't.
Time traveler.
Anyway, that was a crazy debate on there. It lasted forever, but
Forever and still.
and still. All right, so the next one is the biggest fight. What do you guys think was the biggest fight?
So we haven't actually done a ton of like straight verses with Joel and I.
We have one just recently, though.
We did
just 2 weeks ago.
Yeah, and it scared people.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah, because
why are mom and dad fighting?
it had been a year since we'd done a straight you and I just going head to head.
Yeah.
And so they weren't used to it maybe this year.
Do we really not have another one since Die Hard Lethal Weapon?
That was just, things got very
Because
heated.
that'd be, what, the end of 2016?
Things did get very heated during the show, especially during our music bracket once.
That's just how it goes.
And also, actually, anytime we do a bracket, like I love to see Joel just cringe or just get mad at the two of us when we unite. And so, like the dad bracket, when we united on that, or like I remember being really upset. But also, I think maybe one of our biggest was Right Said Fred versus Chumbawamba.
The weirdest thing to fight about.
When I'm Too Sexy lost to Tub Thumping, you were so mad
That wasn't
about
the
that.
one
it really was.
That
Isn't that the one you picked? What'd you pick?
No, the one I picked was you two pushing your Foo Fighter agenda farther than it needed to be and way into the bracket where I was like, guys, Foo Fighters does not deserve to go anymore. And then you kept pushing Red Hot Chili Peppers, and I'm like, what are you doing? These two bands do not belong this far in the alternative bracket. And you guys are like, no, they're the best band ever, and I love them. I want to marry them. Hey, can you bring them on the show so I can date him? My name's Kant.
We got married and then divorced. That story.
And so to me, that was the biggest fight, was just being like, you can't do this. You cannot knock out Nirvana and Green Day and Smashing Pumpkins and Alanis Morissette in this round.
I love you still do have the rage behind that,
he does.
too.
He does.
It's still there because I'm like, I mean, the way the 90s bracket ended, I was fine with, but man, you guys love Foo Fighters.
We really do.
Well, they're really good.
And it's always difficult when I get in a room and both of you have the same opinion, and I'm like, well, here we go again.
And I remember fighting you, thinking that you were going to push Weezer all the way. And so I think I went against Weezer. And then when you did too, I was like, what just happened?
Yeah, he just did a little twist at the end. That's because his conscience came through and was like, actually, this is too far.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
I can't play the villain forever, fellas.
But no, I mean, there have been some times where I've been really upset at Joel on this season, but I think previous seasons was maybe a little bit more.
Maybe we're just getting used to each other now.
That's true.
Yeah, it's true. There's less abrasive, like, head-to-head.
I do want to say this too, Jacob.
Uh-huh.
I went back and listened to a bunch of old episodes, like season 1 kind of stuff, just for research reasons and stuff like that. I was very antagonistic towards you in the beginning. Like,
Really?
Oh, you made fun of him all the time.
I know.
I don't remember.
And it was all, it's always in fun and stuff like that. But I remember my wife pointing out, saying, you pick on him a lot. And I was like, what? No way. And I went back and listened. And I was like, whoa, Joel, geez, calm down here. Like, leave Jacob alone for a bit. So,
Did you say anything funny?
oh yeah, it was hilarious. But, but it was at your expense.
Oh, I was hilarious.
All right, so let's just go to the next category, which is the most warm and fuzzy.
Aw.
Basically, what's the opposite of the biggest fight?
I would
Biggest warm and
say
fuzzy for the season 3.
this is going to sound strange considering that's warm and fuzzy and to talk about a Halloween show. But if there's one thing that we can generally unite on, it's how much we love Halloween.
True.
And we dedicate an entire month every year to doing these horror-themed shows. And one of my favorite shows of the year, this is my favorite Pitch show, A Season of the Pitch, which we talked about already. And I say it's warm and fuzzy because...
Was it Season of the Pitch? It was Season of the Pitch.
Season of the
That's
Pitch. Because I was so impressed with Joel's pitches that I couldn't help but feel the love.
You mean his singing pitches? Is that, or you mean something else?
Little pitchy dog.
Last call pitches like that, or
No, stop, stop. But his pitches were so good, the stories were so good that I was just like, man, you are just the most improved player. You own these shows, and I was so proud of you.
It's funny. I went back and listened to the DC Universe one that we did.
Yeah, earlier this season.
Yeah, DC Extended Universe, Saving the DC Universe, and we were the pitches there was me going, "Hey, I think we should do a movie about Man-Bat," and then that was my pitch.
Yeah,
and then Kent going, "In a world where Robin has gymnastic skills, he showed them off." Opening scene, like it was. He did a whole big long thing.
If we want to talk about biggest fight, that's actually a show where I got really frustrated during the show, is because I was giving my flash pitch, for example.
He was trying so hard,
and I'm trying so hard. And you guys, you go to your safe space, which is basically like, oh, boring. This is taking forever. And I go, gosh, you just let me talk. And then, but the thing that came out of that was when I edited the music in post, I would stop the music, like this epic music, every time you guys interrupted me. And then as soon as I got you guys to shut up, all of a sudden I was like, and we're back on the boat. And then the music would start back up.
And it made it funny. It added an extra element to it.
Right. And so I love pitch shows, but my favorite pitch show we have done in 3 seasons was Season of the Pitch. Because I think the two of us, we were just on.
It was a fun show.
We were linked.
I still don't want to do more pitch shows because they take a lot out of me.
I have another one.
He does.
You can lose that at any time.
What? You can?
You can earn them. You can lose them.
What? That's so cool. I don't know. Do you feel like there was a warm and fuzzy show for you, Jake?
For me, it was the last episode of season 3 when Joel was saying how sorry he was for picking on me in season 1, and I just can't. I
don't think I wasn't sorry.
Secretly, I played it down a lot because I've been talking to my therapist about this a lot, and he's really going to like
Matt?
he's going to be really excited to hear about how this is a big breakthrough.
Is that really the one you're going to pick?
He just wants you to apologize so bad.
For me, I actually chose our documentary starter kit and our Geeky Gifts episode.
Yeah.
Because we were able to come together on a list together, especially with the documentary one. We both kind of came, there wasn't a lot of fighting. There was some back and forth, but there was no issue there. And we came together on a list, and I thought that was really nice.
Yeah, it was nice.
Yeah.
Or the boring, warm and fuzzy is so
Psychology
boring.
and Love with Dr. Matt was also pretty warm and fuzzy, but that's just because we were analyzing Kent the whole time.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
That makes me comfortable.
All right, guys. What's your favorite Facebook Live?
I'll start just because we already mentioned it. It was the Jacob birthday surprise.
Oh, yeah?
I love that one just because this sounds bad considering what I just said.
Because you want to make up for making fun of me so much on the first season.
I like it because you are so uncomfortable in the video because it was your first one. Because Ken and I did one at Emily's wedding.
It was my first birthday. Oh, my first Facebook Live.
Ken and I did a Facebook Live at Emily's wedding, and that was our first kind of venture into that.
Yeah,
and they were like, we should do one when we record. And Jacob was just like, shut off the camera, we're done. We're like, no, we're not. Here's a double chalupa with candles in it. We sang to you. You're just like, okay, thank you. Turn it off now. And I'm like, no, you got to take a bite on camera. This is for Facebook.
See, that one is great. But it's not as great as our last one when we were all of us laying on the floor.
Yeah.
And the phone was propped up against a pillow, which I think we have to do every single Facebook Live video this way.
But that should not have worked. But for some reason, it felt more comfortable watching.
Do you know why?
Than normal. While we're laying, snuggling on the floor, and you do a steamroller. Why on earth was that more comfortable to watch? It doesn't make any sense.
Oh man, when Kelly, he actually said, "Do a steamroller," and I of course went for it, and it was steamroller. I was dying. And here's why it worked, because we were talking about Stranger Things, and we were posed like we were almost having a sleepover, all just laying on the floor, arms propped up, and just kind of, nuzzling in and everything. It just worked.
With the fire roaring behind us.
It was just so funny. And we had our feet all lifted up in the back, and it was adorable. And I think we had the most amount of watches on that. I mean, when we're recording it, which is probably 24.
The most viewed video we have was actually the Stormy Night one when we announced FeminAugust.
Oh, okay.
I think it's because we teased it. We were going to have a Q&A and a big announcement, but that had the
I tried to fight for September.
Yes, you did.
Yes.
Yeah.
But no, they're fun. And I think we plan on doing more of those Facebook Live videos, and we hope you engage with us as we do so.
Okay, so next category is biggest accomplishment.
What about you, Jake? Do you feel like we've accomplished something pretty major? Was there a show that you're very, very proud of? Something behind the scenes, maybe?
Gosh. I actually didn't put any thought into this one.
Show or question?
There he is again.
just Baconsale.
Joel 2017.
No, like one thing that I did like going into was doing some scripted stuff with the zombie apocalypse. Like I feel like there's probably a future, not just with this choose your own adventure or anything, but doing some scripted work I think is kind of funny, especially when we can still play our roles, but there's some scripted things. Like I think that was a cool corner to turn.
For Baconsale, I think one of our biggest accomplishments was declaring the listener.
Yeah.
And having guests on the show with us and having a contest to see who could be the listener.
That's a way better choice than mine.
We plan to do it again. Personal-wise, I think my biggest accomplishment was winning the Taco Bell menu.
Not being nicer to me this year, because I know you had to work on that.
that was season 2 I need to work on. I'm doing so much better now.
I love that you're so proud of winning the food challenge.
I won McDonald's and Taco Bell.
Yay, Joel.
He's like out on like the track running by himself.
Have you guys checked the fry spreadsheet yet?
Is there one?
Oh,
The one you created.
I don't remember creating one.
Hey, are you starting that already?
No, not yet.
Take it easy.
I don't think I made that.
It's funny. So
Did I
would
make
say,
that?
I think you did.
I would say for the podcast, I think the biggest challenge that we accomplished was chasing down the moving target that is Taco Bell.
Oh,
we
yeah.
spent.
I thought you were going to say FeminAugust.
No, it's just
Scheduling.
Oh, scheduling was tough. But I mean, the fact is we went on diets. All three of us went on diets at different points in this whole thing.
Yeah.
So when we started this in February, we intended this to be a month and a half.
Well, what Kent's not saying there is Taco Bell was actually my diet. Like that's what I ate.
No, Ken, in regard to the big accomplishments, you lost like 20 pounds?
Yeah, I lost 20 pounds first round and then 10 pounds in the second one. Yeah, actually, I guess that's pretty good, right?
That's a real life accomplishment.
Oh, yeah, I guess that's not bad.
You don't clap for me when I lose 20 pounds.
It's because you crash diet and then get super unhealthy after.
Yeah, well,
When you're like,
Taco Bell diet,
I got to
man.
get the money. I'm only drinking syrup for the next 4 days.
Oh, no. But yeah, so
I like that diet too.
And Taco Bell adds so many new things on their menu all the time and drops things. It's hard to really say we eat everything on the menu because
Yeah,
it
where's the
changes
double
every day.
chalupa? I'm like shedding a tear. There's like a little tear going down my face
Just get 2
right now.
chalupas and put them together.
But personally,
boat.
actually, I didn't even think about the weight thing but there was this kind of leads to my personal thing. My schedule's quite busy. In fact, I do 2 podcasts a week. It's just, I edit and all this sort of stuff. And this is the year where I actually started dating January 1 of this year. And the fact that I've actually had a semi-normal dating life in the midst of a year where I'm very busy with
We
this.
can call it semi-normal. We'll
Yeah,
go with that.
semi-normal.
Is
Thank
there
you.
a normal dating life? I don't think
He
there.
also accomplished his kissing goal.
Oh, yes, I did, actually.
The last time, cruise doesn't count. Okay.
Oh, he's a good. He licks, and it's
Whoa.
It's kind of sweet though.
it is really
This is getting
sweet.
weird.
Yeah, too much tongue
This
though.
is getting weird.
No, it's way too much tongue. Those French bulldogs,
Family friendly.
French,
Stop.
French.
The joke has been made.
Okay, but no, I mean it's crazy because we dedicate one evening, and it's kind of late when we start, but one evening a week to this, and it's taking time out of both of your busy schedule and mine as well. But we're still able to live somewhat normal lives, even though we stay up way too late one night of the week.
And I'm dead the next day.
I'm very sorry.
It's okay.
All right, guys. You think it's time for a Jacob twist or two?
Always, I miss a Jacob twist.
Yay! All right, so
I'll be
here's-
right back.
All right, look, there's just 2. Okay.
Just 2 Jacob twists.
Yes, and I think you'll find these pretty easy. I'd like to know your favorite cover art this year.
Oh, okay.
The favorite cover, because, if you go to our Facebook page, we have all of our episode art that we have there.
Yeah. I mean,
So-
is cover art the right word? Like, as I, as soon
Yeah,
as
I would
said
say
that,
so.
I was like, is
the
that-
album art, cover art.
Yeah,
Yeah,
absolutely.
it's called episode. The album is called episode art on Facebook. But Kent creates all those. Like, we get done with the show, we're like, what should the cover art be? And we'll talk about it. But Kent is the one who puts them all together.
Yeah, it's generally with ideas from you guys or photo shoots where I'm like, guys, take a picture of your face looking mad.
And he has this. He has like a whole catalog of our.
Yeah, I'm so
faces.
sorry. I have
Dude,
so
you have
many
so many
pictures of you
pictures.
guys.
Yeah.
Kent, do you have one that you remember creating that you really enjoyed?
Yeah. What's your favorite, Kent? I mean, after making all these.
So
do you know?
there's one that while I was making it, I couldn't help but just giggle, and it was the Soundtrack and Feels Part 2 of Jacob as the conductor. He was
is that
so
Such
gleeful.
happiness on his face.
So that's probably my third place. My second place, once again, season of the pitch. The simplicity of the
Shadow
picture
Man.
really, really worked.
Yeah, that one was creepy. In
And-
fact,
and
I
I-
think I added that one, or I intend to add it to the store.
Oh, okay.
So I can get that on a shirt. 'Cause,
Yeah, I took all our silhouettes and just turned them black.
Maybe for next
and
Christmas.
the silhouettes really worked. But my favorite one that I personally worked on because I could not stop laughing was Farmed and Dangerous.
What was that one?
So that's the one I used the American Gothic picture.
Oh, that's right. You put Jacob's head in Laura's head.
Laura was playing Jane and Jake was bald. And just having so much fun.
The bald Jacob.
The bald Jacob. I still can't look at it and not laugh.
Yeah. I shared that one on Twitter too, I think.
Yeah. It just kills me.
A couple of my favorites.
There I am.
I'm on Facebook right now looking at the pictures. I love the hipster flick pics one.
Oh yeah.
Where Kent made us all hipsters. He's like, give me black nail polish, and Jacob has a scraggly
Didn't we go to ZCMI, or we're not ZCMI, but
Macy's?
Macy's.
Yeah, and we grabbed some clothes and dressed up and made us all hipsters. That was fun. A little dress up, a little fashion show for that. I'm also a big fan of the 100th episode one where you put us in the Jeopardy categories and put all the
that was a good one. That was a good one, yeah.
Because it looks like they're playing Jeopardy, and I have all the listener contestants in there. That was fun.
The dating etiquette one was fun with the Tinder. Swipe right on Baconsale.
That's fun too. For some reason, I love the Baconsale High School one, our high school movies one.
Oh yeah,
we just took pictures of us from high school because it was fun to see you guys in high school, and it was super simple. I enjoyed that.
And you have a butt cut, which is great.
Yeah. And then finally, I love all the tiering ones when we put like the verses and you put all the Easter eggs in the background. Yes. So like Disney Tier 1, Disney Tier 2, Disney Princesses had one too. Man, so many good ones here. Oh, and the Howling. I love the werewolf one. We're all behind the Howling poster. I'm
like in this episode Unto Yourself.
That was cool.
Yeah.
Which is one of the best titles.
And these aren't going to make a lot of sense unless you go to Facebook and start looking at these pictures. Oh, and you made me Christine Daae in the Phantom versus Les Mis.
You allowed me to.
That was weird looking. So that's why I allowed it.
Actually, one of the episodes that we wish we could redo is one of the coolest cover arts is the American history quiz.
Yeah.
Oh, putting us on the
crossing the Delaware.
Yeah. I mean, that's cool. And I mean, honestly, you can't really catch that unless you really look close. But the Photoshop work there is really excellent.
Fun. Yeah. So make sure to go to our Facebook page, look at our episode art album, and just like all the pictures there that you enjoy too, because Kent puts a lot of work into them. Let's give him some nods.
All right, so here's the other one. So at the end of every show, as you guys know, Kent will put in some out of context quotes.
Some?
A lot.
Right.
A whole lot. So is there any standouts for you guys from this year that just shocked you or got you, or I mean just like, oh man, because what Kent normally does, and if you haven't picked up on this yet, listener, this is the magic of it, is you get
to the end of the episode, by the way.
If you make it to the end, you listen to these, there's 8-bit, music roll, and then Kent puts these quotes in, but he normally takes cuts from us doing like mic checks, like before we start recording.
Yeah.
And it's not entirely that, but often there's a lot of good material there where Joel and I and him will just be saying random stuff, and then he'll cut that out of context and drop it in. So is there any of those this year that come to mind?
The only one that came to mind off the top of my head, because I'm looking at the episode list here, and it's hard to remember because there's so many times when I'm like, oh crap, Kent's going to use that one. But it was the one, for some reason, it's like when you were doing your vocal thing where you're like, and I just went, devil! And he took that
pretty
and put
solid
it at the end of it, and that became this running gag where you'd do that and I just yelled devil. And so because of him taking out of context, it became kind of running gag during mic check.
There was one I said, and we actually cut it out of the show, but I put it into the end credits. Joel's not going to want me to bring this up, but where Joel talked about his voice making women pregnant, and then I said, say it to my hand or something like that, because
you said, and my hand.
Oh yeah. You need to apologize to all these women and my hand. And what I meant to say is, when we did the show where you talked about getting women pregnant with your voice, I had dice in my hand.
There's still no good way to say this.
And you blew on the dice. And so I felt like that.
I don't know.
And so I threw that in the show. And I always wait for Sunday night, because before we publish the show, Joel will go in and listen to the final track and go, I like that song you used or whatever. And then I always wait for the moment where he goes, really? That's what you chose for the last quote? And then basically he swears revenge on Twitter that he'll take me out of context.
And I do.
And he does.
Yeah.
I mean, the thing with that, though, is like that happened in the show, and we were both like, whoa, no, stop. You have to cut that. That cannot stay in the show. Like, that is too awkward.
And I used it.
And you used it in the end credits.
And brought it up now.
And that. I was actually sitting here just debating. I'm like, I don't know. And then you're like, I got it.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Okay, so those are my only twists. Although I'm trying to think. There's so many out of context ones that have been pretty good. You got me. Wasn't I singing one time? Can't remember.
A lot.
Yeah, there was.
Honestly,
there was a recent one where
my favorite recent ones have been where you're practicing your intro, because you're never ever ready for intros.
Live in the Baconsale logo is my favorite. Live in the Bacon. Nope.
Once there was podcasters.
Oh, man, that one was so bad.
And I always record when you're doing this, and I'm like, look, he's going to get a decent take when he does the actual intro, but I'm going to get this
but you're
practice.
going to get me in the practice.
Yeah.
Okay, so, all right, so there's some out of context. Listener, go find your favorite out of context. I'd love to hear.
Honestly, go listen to the final tracks because, I like doing this. And it's just Easter eggs for people to enjoy.
And honestly, when Kent finishes editing, Sunday night usually, I go on and I just listen to the end and see what he's done there.
It's one of my favorite parts of the show, to be honest, Kent. I enjoy going to those outros and hearing what music you chose.
Right.
Sometimes I help you, but other times it's you just kind of do it on your own.
Yeah.
But then just seeing what quotes you've pulled, and I'm like, out of context, that sounds terrible.
Indeed.
Back on track here, and this is kind of the wrapping up. Is what are some of our goals? What are we hoping to do in 2018, season 4?
As a show?
Yeah, what do you guys want to happen?
I want to do either a remote podcast or a remote live podcast. I think that'd be fun to do at least one time. Just have it be live with people walking
Like with
around.
a specific guest, maybe, or
or
like a word
in
on
a
the
place or something like that. Like maybe like a Comic-Con something, or I think that could be fun to do.
Okay,
It'd be really off the cuff, and our show is basically live as is.
it's true.
Just every.
And it'd be nice to have people jump in and just say, "Hey,
Yeah.
And that would probably help with if we had sponsors and stuff like that to go to remote somewhere, right? That would kind of work out.
R&R Barbecue.
Oh, please.
Baconsale from R&R
we talked
Barbecue.
about them so much last week.
I know.
Just the receptacle, the
Never talked to
replicator.
Yeah.
So for me, I have a couple of goals for the show. I always talk about how I want my pitches to actually get to Hollywood. I say, Hollywood, call me. I can help you. I want to do a pitch show that matters. Like I want to take one of my pitches and actually send it on somewhere somehow, or maybe just write it.
Or you'd have to
out.
write a whole screenplay if you did that.
Something like that.
That'd be a ton of work.
I want to go big in this next season.
We're doing our big show where we talk about Tom Hanks' famous movie.
Right. Yeah, and we're going to play chopsticks. And we're going to do it. And I'm going to get a piano. And we're going to dance it, actually.
I'm on it. I'm all over it.
Speaking of music, this is a show that I've really tried to get you guys to get behind.
The musical episode.
Joel's, guys, I want a musical episode. And it doesn't have to be next season.
That'll be the second one Joel doesn't come on.
Dude, if anyone's a singer on the show, it's you.
It's not me?
Well, okay. Sorry, Jake. And so my plan is, and look, it may take a year, it may take a little over a year, but I want to do most of the legwork for writing an original Baconsale the musical. Ooh. And I want to put a story behind this, and I want this to be a 45-minute.
That goes into my sort of goals as well, which is like a scripted sort of experience that's still very Baconsale-y,
Exactly.
Yeah.
Either that, or I'd like to do like a show dedicated to autumn. Fall.
Autumn?
That'd be nice.
I thought you were talking about Autumn, but a listener.
No, I want to do the coins show.
About coins or stamps?
Yeah.
Hobbies?
Yeah.
Tier hobbies?
I thought the winter show was fun. Okay, guys. I don't remember who came up with it. I don't remember why we ended up doing it, but
look,
I thought it was fun.
We got so much flack for that show.
It's me. I'll own it.
So, Jake, do you have any more goals for the show?
I'd like to reach out to Kate Baconsale in 2018. Hopefully, we're expanding our listenership, maybe sponsor some things like that. I'd like to have some events and things that happen if that's possible. I don't know. We'll just see. It has to happen organically. We can't really force it before it can be here. So,
well, Jake, Joel, I have good news for you guys. Some of these goals we have may actually happen.
Good. I'm glad you're optimistic.
Not only am I optimistic, but there's this little thing I do. Right? I like to travel through time.
Dun, dun, dun.
And so I've actually gone into the future and recorded, much like I did last year, some highlights from season 4 of Baconsale.
Again? Didn't you get brain damage last time?
A little bit, actually.
It's like sucking helium.
Yeah.
But wait, so you're telling me you have a trailer for our upcoming season that we have not recorded yet at all?
And it is our most dramatic trailer yet.
Oh, that's a high bar.
Out of the two, it's the better one. So if you guys are ready, let's hear how things are going to go in 2018.
What do you mean I'm not old enough to watch X-Men?
So the Infinity Stones, there's space, which is purple. There's mind, which is blue. Then there's virtue, and then personal improvement and knowledge.
Thrifty, brave, clean, and reverent, right?
No, this song is too sexy.
I have never eaten so many French fries in my life.
I'm not going to apologize for how I felt about Tomb Raider back in 1997.
The Whopper is simply 100 times better than the Big Mac.
Isn't Black Panther a little on the nose?
Can you guys actually tolerate Cap'n Crunch without the Crunch Berries? I didn't think so.
It's not that bad. There's one number I remember better than 8675309, and that's it's so easy to rent to own. Call 5322002.
Joel, do you really think you're a better Kent than I am?
That was the creepiest looking baby I'd ever seen.
Henry Cavill is so beautiful, he makes a mustache look good.
But Brad Pitt is technically a young Robert Redford, according to my mom.
Listen, I'm telling you, this Michael Bay movie isn't terrible.
I'm about to explain to you guys why The King of Thieves is much better than Return of Jafar.
No!
We're going there.
You just don't cook fish in a microwave. Ever. Ever!
The love triangle you never expected.
Hey guys, could we get a few more female guests in here?
Kent, I can't believe you said those 3 little words to her.
You mean, are you hangry?
We got another Baconsale baby in the house. Whoop, whoop. Just stop. Let the Harry Potter franchise die.
Keep it
Had
going.
a good run. It's done.
No, Ken, I don't get the same thrill you do of just watching some mostly naked man underwater.
We didn't like this movie.
I'm Han Solo, I'm so funny, blah, blah, blah. Zombie Apocalypse Part 2, The Return of Cruise.
Look for the bare necessities, the simple bare necessities.
What's in your shopping cart?
Too far, Dr. Matt. Too far.
Sam, it's time to defend your title.
I can't believe you're leaving the show. All right, there we have it, guys. I mean, that's season 4. I mean, I'm really looking forward to it, but even though I feel like I've already experienced it.
It sounded awful.
What?
That must be boring for you.
No, that guy said sounded terrible. That was pathetic.
What?
Joel, no. That's our future. This is our show.
Didn't you hear
show-
the funny stuff we said?
No, the show is a shadow of its former self. Okay, guys, we were so much better back in season 1 when things were so much more organized.
What is your deal? Like, why have you been on this whole like anger trip this entire year? Like, what's the deal with Joel 2017?
Joel 2017, eh? You still haven't figured it out? You don't know who I really am? Well, allow me to clue you in. Allow me to reintroduce myself. It's me.
Oh my gosh, your face.
Pete, the intern.
Pete?
Hello, old friends. You may remember me from that time I saved you from Krampus's snow globe and was trapped there in your place. I was there for what felt like an eternity, but a time rift appeared, allowing me to escape. Little did you know that this entire year, I've been joining you in Joel's place. I've sabotaged the show on the air and upset the listener on social media.
You mean this entire year, anytime you've been grumpy or dark, it was never actually Joel?
Not even close, Kent.
What have you done with our Joseph?
Well, Jake, I don't think it really matters. Do you? Because you're never getting him back.
Jake, this is all my fault. I'm the one that caused the time rift. I've created the darkest timeline. Joel's been lost to us for a year. I need to go back. I need to go back in time now and save Joel.
You can't possibly go back again. You will have to run faster than you have ever run before.
Wish me luck, friend. I must leave.
Run, Kenny, run! So, I'm going to go ahead and go. Will you clean up?
Sure.